Hey everyone, it's me again. I'm back, and tonight I'm going to be doing a tutorial on strictly drugstore makeup. Nothing high-end, nothing from Sephora, mostly from Walgreens, beauty products. So I am going to start with the Rockin' Nudes by Maybelline palette. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to start on my eyes, which I typically do. But I put on, and the primer that I'm going to be using is Circa Fresh Canvas Face Primer. You can get this at Walgreens. And sorry for the crazy lighting. I'm still trying to situate, lightings whenever I do my videos, but I'll get there. We'll see how this comes out. Alright, and after I put my primer on my face, what I do is I take some concealer to put on my eyelids. On my eyes is L'Oreal Visible Live Blur Concealer. And simply just take a little bit and put it on each eye. And then blend it out with my damp beauty blender. Alright. And then next what I'm going to do is kind of just put a little bit of powder on top of the foundation to kind of set it on. And for that I'm going to be using Almay Smart Shade Loose Finishing Powder. Alright. Eyeshadow primer is by Milani. It's eyeshadow primer and it's in nude. They do have a few different colors of this too, but the one I've always used is nude because it blends better with my skin. Alright, and I will be using a mixture of different brushes for this. For the most part, they're going to be Morph brushes. I do have a few Wet n Wild brushes. So, let's get started. Brush. This one's from Wet n Wild. And I always like to take some light transition colors just to kind of even all the colors that I'm going to be putting on top. And I'm going to borrow this mirror from and what I'm doing is I'm just kind of rubbing this light, kind of a white shade, and then towards the bottom I'm going to be kind of blending in with this very, very light color. And a smaller blending brush. This one is from Morph. And I'm going to be taking this. It's kind of a light smoky gray color. I said smoky gray, but it does kind of have a little bit of purple in it too, which is fine because that's kind of what I was going for this look. It's like a purple smoky. I want to try some of the glitter pigments in these too to see how well they are compared to some of the higher end palettes that I do own. It's coming out. Alright, so next I'm thinking I'm going to use this. It's kind of a black glitter. Now, I'm gonna use one of these eyeshadow applicators to put that because I find they stick better when you have glitter in the palette. And instead of rubbing back and forth, I kind of pat, 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 pat. So let's take my blending brush, and I always keep a rag to kind of wipe off any excess powder from previous colors that were on there. Kind of in the corner right here, I am going to it's kind of a pinkish silvery glitter pigment. And then once again, take your blender brush and kind of just even it out. Go up with this pale color right here, and once again go to the top to kind of make sure all the colors are blended very nicely. I think I'm gonna use that purple smoky gray color. And what you basically do is go right underneath your lower lashes. As eyeliner, it just gives that kind of a halo effect. Alright, that's it for the eyeshadows. I do my eyebrows, but after I put on all of my foundation and everything. So Balance liquid foundation. This could be found at Walgreens for about, I think it was $17, so not too bad. And it comes in a pump. It is by Maybelline. It's Master Conceal by Face Studio Camouflaging Concealer. Triangle. And use the narrow part of your beauty blender for this part. For my powder, I'm going to be using the Almay Smart Shade again. And since I did mention, I think I got a little bit darker foundation than I should have, being that this is a Smart Shade powder, it's gonna kind of even it out and make it match my skin tone more closely. Alright, next I will do my contouring by Model & Company bronzer. I'm going to be using Luxie 512 small contouring brush for this. For my nose, Dome eyeshadow and crease. It's a two-sided brush, but I use this one just for my nose contouring. So next you take the larger end and kind of just swoop to kind of blend it in, so you don't just have that brown line going down your nose. My eyeliner and such. So I'm going to go back to this concealer again, because I do put a little bit of more concealer on. It helps the baking product stay on. As you can see, you don't put on quite as much as you did before. And then I also put a little bit on my chin. I use Maybelline Master Fix by Face Studio Setting and Perfecting Loose Powder. This powder is white, which is recommended to bake. You can use a stippling brush, which I do use sometimes, but I find it sticks better to your face with the Beauty Blender. So while that's setting in, I'm going to do my eyebrows. it comes with a little brush and some tweezers and 2 colors. This consistency, it's kind of like an eyeshadow. It's a lighter color. And then this one's a creamier texture to kind of make them kind of set and stay like you want them to. Or you can use brow gel, which I do use sometimes too. So the first thing you want to do before you start your eyebrows is make sure you brush them out to where they're even and not in all kind of crazy shapes. Alright, and then I start with the lighter color. Alright, and then you're going to take the darker color, which is a creamy one, and I don't start directly at the end right here. I find if you kind of fade it in, it makes your eyebrows look a lot more natural and not so much painted on. It's Maybelline New York Eye Studio. I use gel eyeliner for my waterline. Alright, so that's it for that. Now for my regular eyeliner, this is one of the cheapest liquid eyeliners you can find, but it works. I have no problem with it. It's Wet n Wild, which y'all know Wet n Wild is one of the cheapest makeups they have out there. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to make a very, very thin line. Glitter. It's two-sided. This side's used for shadows, and this you can use as shadows too, but it's a very thin line, so you can use it as eyeliner. So I'll put the black eyeliner. I never find any that are short enough to not basically make me look like a hooker. Now the only thing I will be using that is not from a drugstore is my mascara. This is the only mascara that I ever use. It's Too Faced Better Than Sex. Since you can't really see all the detail very well. Oh crap, don't you hate when that happens? Alright, so now what I'm going to do is take off the baking, and I use a stippling brush for that. Sorry, I went black there for a second. So I'm using the Wet n Wild Mega Glow Illuminating Palette. And I'm gonna sweep more on the lighter colored side. And also right there. And I'm just gonna for tonight's look. I'm more of a lip gloss girl over lipstick anyway. If I'm going out to dinner or a date or something, I'll put lipstick on, but my everyday look is lip gloss. And also, the only other thing, not either. Alright, so here's the finished look. Make sure you follow my Facebook page, Makeup by Vanity. I will post a finished look video. Finished look picture for everyone to see. And thank you for watching, and I'll see you on my next video. Bye!